So guys, welcome back to the studio. We are doing a new project today, and it will be an air plant holder. So if you're not familiar with the air plant, they look something like this. Very small plants that don't need water or soil, just kind of floats around, and they grow just from the moisture in the atmosphere. Also, you have to kind of water them, meaning you soak them in water, and then once they get enough water for a couple hours, whatever, you pull it out, and then they can just hang out for weeks. So very easy to keep. I have a ton of these, and they've been growing, so I figured I should make some holders, some type of air plant holders. So that's the idea. And then my next thing was, if I wanted to make this, I wanted to make it easy and simple that you guys could do for your first project. So if you're new to all of this, trying to make a stained glass project, trying to figure out what you want to do first, maybe this could be that first project. And not only that, I've kind of figured out how to make it so that we can make one of these air plant holders, and then you can add a second one, a third, a fourth, however many you'd want. They can all connect together to make a much bigger project. So that's kind of the idea behind this, one simple project that can actually grow into a larger, bigger project, somewhere that, if you had a bigger wall and you wanted to make multiples of them, you can definitely do that. So before I start talking more about what it's going to be like, what this project is, let me just kind of show you so you kind of have an idea. So first of all, like something like this, where this will be the background of the glass, right? So the air plant will sit, we'll have a way to hold it up or suspend it in a pocket of some sort, and this would be the backing of the glass would be the backing, the plant would be sitting right in there, and so the main glass will show. So I think that's nice. So you can pick like your favorite glass, any different types of glass, and then you'll have your background, different colors and stuff like that. So this is what I've came up with. The size of it, first, it's a diamond shape. So the size of it, I have determined and kind of played around with some of the sizes, but as far as what I have right now, it is 8 by 3.5 inches. We just for simplicity, I sorry for those out there who are doing like metric systems. I just grew up with this stuff, so 8 by 3.5 inches. It would have been easier, obviously, doing it in the metric system, but you guys will probably be able to figure out or make your own dimensions on this, right? So basically, I just kept playing with some different sizes, and started off with like the smaller one. Let's go with like a 2 by 4 inches, and I placed like a plant that I wanted to use. Ended up, just felt like it was a little bit too small, right? And the plant would just cover the entire glass, so you wouldn't see it. And I want more of a bigger piece to show the glass, like the beauty of the glass, right? So then moved it up a little bit, went up, and I thought, oh, that's a lot better. Kept moving up, and at this point, we're at 6 inches here, 3 inches here, and I thought, okay, this is pretty good. Let's, maybe this is it. But the idea was that I wanted to make 4 diamond shapes. So if you can imagine having, you make one of these here, you make 4 of them, and then you connect it all into a bigger diamond shape where the air plant can then sit on each of them. So you'll have 4 air plants for 4 diamonds, right? So we can grow and make this. So I think right now I just wanted to keep it at the 4 diamonds, and at 6.5 or at 6 inches right here, I felt like they may be a little tight together for this size air plant. If you have a smaller one, it might work. But again, this whole project is so that a simple diamond can get you this project that can be, you know, any size diamond, right? You can grow it taller and make it wider if you want to become like a wider, even more of a, you know, more of a square type diamond too, right? So you can do that if you want, or you can narrow it down even more and make it very slim, just for looks, you know. So when I was thinking about this, I just wanted to make it so that everybody out there, you guys can come up with, draw your own diamond, really. Just decide on the width and decide on the length, and then you have your first diamond, and then make copies of that, and then you'll have 4 of them. We can put it together. In my mind, you know, I think it's gonna look pretty good. I haven't made the diamonds and put it together yet, but I really think, you know, it's gonna look pretty good. So what I did was, I decided on first to get the glass colors and what glass options, you know, like with the choices that I have, I just kind of narrowed it down to what I wanted. So I picked out some stuff. I got a this lighter, very light violet purple color. Not even anymore. Well, yeah, it's still like purple, but you know, something like this, because this will be sitting on my wall, and so I didn't want a darker color. I didn't think like you know, with a darker purple, I think it would just look almost black, sitting on a wall. So I wanted to make sure that this was light enough so that white, or the whatever color my wall is, it's going to be, it'll kind of show through, and it also kind of give a little bit more light to this. If you hang this at a window, I think that would look really great too. I just I don't think I'm going to do it at the window. The air plants, for me, these air plants, if you have them hanging right at the window with direct sunlight, you'll kill it quickly. So I have it on a wall, or I want it to be on a wall where it's you get some sunlight, right? Like indirect sunlight. So anyway, so I've got that. I got that color. I got some light blue glass here, and I'm gonna do a white with some wispy white glass that I have. And then I found this one, very cool, iridescent, wavy textured one too. So this, I don't know, you know, it's gonna be hard to cut, but just to play around with it. And then I think what's really cool about this project is, you know, we have, first you can choose your own glass colors, right? It can go from, I mean, you could do it all clear, right? You can have whatever glass you have in stock, whatever is available for you. You can buy your glass and make that. You know, so you can make one only, just a standalone one air plant holder, and with the glass backing of your choice. Then what I like about this too is that what we're doing is there's going to be this I guess 3D triangular piece that's going to come and get attached right on top of it. So I'll probably have to switch to the other view over here, but let's see, do I have this right? Okay. So it'll go something like this, where the glass will lift up, is connected to the sides of the diamond right here, and then connect to itself. Right, so once that's connected, you have this little pocket that the air plant's going to sit in. Okay, so the air plant sits inside that pocket, and these triangles come right to the middle point, and then you solder them together. So I also figured out the sizes of this too, so we can go over that. And it is a very simple, very easy project. If you can cut 3 pieces of glass, you're on your way to getting the rest of it done. You know, we'll wrap it up with foil and then solder it up. So, you know, I mean, that's right, like cut, grind, foil, solder. That's all we do here. That's all it's gonna be. So wanted to make it really simple, but also to, you know, a simple project, but also that could look really good too, and not just some easy project that has nothing to it. So I hope this will translate into what I'm thinking and how it's going to look in the end, because we won't know until we finish it. But I think overall it's the amount of combinations that you can have with this, the amount of, you know, the glass choices. You can have your backing be like a solid, a solid like opal, you know, non-see-through glass, right? So you can't see through it. The backing is just like the glass itself. You can have the glass where light does go through it somewhat or fully with the cathedral stuff, and sit it on a background, like if your wall or some, I don't know where you're gonna hang this stuff, but if you have, like, you know, say you had a green background, that green will come through, come through these glass pieces, and then that will give you a different, like, you know, everything changes as we change the scenery. That's the cool thing about this, right? This is like, I think what makes it just a really, should be a very personal project. When you make it, it's very much yours. So, you know, and then not only with the color combinations, you got the textures as well, right? You have these wavy glass textures. You have, you know, whatever else we got. Like, I got a bunch of clear glass as well. And to top it all off, honestly, like these pieces right here where we're gonna have the, you know, they pop out of the backing, the background. These will also be two separate glass that you need to cut, so they could be any combinations as well. So I'm just excited to do this stuff. I think this is going to be my first piece where, like, anything goes. I can just choose whatever scrap, any glass that I like, and then just throw it on there, and it's just going to be a mess, like a big mess mixture of glass on this neatly cut diamond thing, right? I think it's going to be really cool. So if you guys understand what we're trying to do here, hopefully, you know, we're cutting 3 pieces, and I've decided it's going to be the 8-inch, so we'll just go with that. I think that is like probably a good size for it. This is what it will kind of look like, you know, like if this size air plant, this is about like 3 inches right here. So roughly it'll sit like right in the middle, right there, and it can probably grow even bigger, but then you'll have the next diamond, 2 diamonds right next to it, and then another one right adjacent to that. So you'll have these plants that are there. And, you know, if you wanted to, you can obviously grow it, like make it from the 4 diamond, I don't know, you know, like expand it. You can have multiple diamonds connected to each other. You can make it like a trapezoid style, or however these diamonds will line up to each other, you know what I mean? That's kind of the idea of this whole thing. All right, so now we have that. We've got the glass, we've got the design here. Let me show you, just for those of you who want to actually make this project exactly the way that I have it anyways. So I got the graph paper, right? We're going 8 inches up and down. Then the width of it, 3.5 from center. Okay, so that's your diamond. And the tricky part about this right here is you want to go, if you count the squares, I'm counting from center to the edge right here. Here, we'll do it on right over on the top view over here. So the squares that you want to space out, I go by the squares from the graph paper. It's a lot easier. You know, again, metric would have been just precise as hell, but Don't know why we don't do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 squares out on each side, okay? So that gives us the 3.5 for the width. And for this triangle, we'll start off at the same point at the bottom, same point in the center. This is actually 12. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, I'm sorry. Okay, 16, yeah. So 16 squares down, 7 squares across. But what you actually have to do for this triangle, you have to make it 8 across. Okay, so you want to go 8 across, mark a dot there, draw the line, and then from there, come down to this center point right here. Like basically, let me back this up. I don't want to confuse anybody here. Basically, or maybe I should just do this right here. Sorry, I'm confusing the heck out of you right here. So this is the exact square. This is the exact thing. So you want 8 squares across, right? 8 squares across. You can actually see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So make 8 squares across. And then down here, it's going to be 16, right? That's what we counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that's it. 8 squares across, 8, 16, or 16 down, and then connect that. And now you have your triangles. So instead of it being 7 across, like in my original, the diamond that I'm doing, you have 8 across because this actually gets lifted off of itself. And so just by that one square, we have enough space to be able to connect the other triangle. And now we've created a pocket, you know, this open space right here. So without that, it would have just been, well, it would just sit flat. And if you moved it up, they wouldn't connect, right? So this is me playing off of paper right now, off of what I've cut out. And I want to say that this will work. Looks like it will work. It looks pretty good. That's how I came up with that. Okay, so you got your triangles now, you've got your diamond. So let's go ahead and, you know, if you grab your glass, pick out whatever glass that you want, and then you just basically have to, we're just gonna trace the glass. So let's make our first diamond. I mean, I think this is like the, I just want to get to it so we can see it visually. I want to see how the glass will, you know, it'll sit next to each other, right? And I don't know, I just feel like this is such a beginner's project that it doesn't have to be a bad, you know, like so simple that it doesn't look that great. Like you can make this and it'll actually be a very nice project that you can hang, and it's actually useful. I don't know, there's a lot of things that I try to consider when trying to pick out a beginner project. You know, I've been thinking about it, and then I keep coming up with like, oh man, I gotta do something that's actually like harder and test myself and show people like, hey, I can do, you know, I can make these types of projects too. I have more skills or whatever, but in the end, like, I didn't want to get into a harder project right now, and I don't have to really like try to prove anything, you know, right? So it's often hard when you're trying to, I don't know, sometimes I feel like that, you know, and I don't like feeling like that, but I want to make a beginner project. I want to make an easy beginner project that everybody can follow along, but still looks like pretty good, you know, and still would be worthy of a first project. Or even if you've been doing it a couple of times already, this could be like like even now, I'm excited to do this, you know, even if it has 3 pieces. So I just want to do things that are very simple, and you guys can follow along and do it too. You know, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so this is very nice glass piece here. So maybe I was trying to get the, no, I was trying to get like a lighter part of it, but that's okay. We'll mark it down here. All right, so basically, once you cut out your piece, all we're trying to do is trace it. And you know, if your glass is super clear, you can see it. You don't have to trace it. You can just, I mean, you can put the paper underneath it and then trace the marker over on top of it too. So there's that way. I also remember seeing other people, you know, and even I took like this, the leaded stained glass class. And in that class, they also told me they had a way to use like carbon paper to trace over your pattern. And I just didn't like the way, I felt like that was an extra step that I didn't need to do. So I have always traced my pattern over the glass. I don't think that's the only way, or even the best way, you know, but for me, this is the way that I've been doing it. A lot of people will take this piece and then place it down and don't have to trace it and then just glue it right away, right? And then when they do that, they cut as close as possible or even to the line on the paper. And then when you go to grind it, you still have your paper, so you know exactly where to grind. So that's another option if you wanted to do it that way. Just like glue stick, glue it on there. I don't know. That's definitely the other way to do it. But for me, it's a. Let's see. Let's go with this one again. I've just always liked not having the paper, not having to peel the paper off to clean it off. This thing leaks a lot, so I tighten it down. Okay. All right, so we got our glass cutter. We're getting right into it. This is a Toyo glass cutter from, the model is called the Comfort Grip, and this is my favorite piece, my favorite cutter. There's that oil chamber. You can always put oil in there, and then it'll come down and kind of lubricate that wheel. But most of the time, yeah, it's not coming down the right amount, or even coming down at all sometimes, because there's glass like shards and buildup that gets stuck in there, and so that oil doesn't come out anymore. So most people that actually work with glass will just tell you, like, you know, just roll this on a wet rag with like a wet oil rag, and then you'll be able to just get enough oil on there for your cut. I just like to dab it here, so I don't have to have a, I don't know, I haven't had a jar dedicated for that, but you know, you can do that. And then the other thing, safety glasses, just nothing's really going to happen cutting straight lines. It really, I don't think, you know, I'm too worried about that at all, but you know, just for the video and for you guys, it's good to have it. So if I'm not wearing it, then it's like I'm not advocating for it or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I just if you get into, what is it, using the grozing pliers, you're probably gonna break a lot of glass, and it can fly fly up and into your eyes and stuff, that's when I usually would want to use it. But as of right now, like, let's see, let's just cut this out first. All right, so we'll do a first cut, and so I'm just gonna try to break this off first so we don't have to work with a bigger sheet. Pulling all the way through from beginning to end. I'm gonna pull down using a ruler for the guide. All right, not really hard pressure, and I don't want to break it like that. I'm gonna break it with this here. Okay, so you guys seen this a lot of times. One thing I just realized is that you don't have to choke up. You know, try to bring this up all the way to the deep end over here as far as your pliers will go. You want to go just right at the end here. If you start over here deep, it wants to run both sides. It wants to go this way. So you're now having a run from center point where the plier end is all the way to the edge, and then point to the edge here. You just want it to be from edge all the way through. Okay, so line it up and then hope for the best. All right, not so bad, huh? Okay, here. Okay, now we can do some easy fun stuff right here. Right, like I just want to do this line using the ruler as my guide. It's just now you can go front, forward, pulling down, going away from you. You know, it can go either way. I couldn't really grab it right there, so. I feel like we'll be able to get this project fairly quickly. You know, I always say that, but end up having it be like 10 videos later, and then we're done with the project. So I'm just gonna shut up and not say anything. What I can say is that straight cuts are so fun and they are easier to do. So I would probably just do that all day and have no stress in doing curves. You know, maybe when I get better at doing curves and doing curved projects, like maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, I don't know. Not saying I want to avoid them, but I tend not to do them. So, yeah. It's avoiding it. All right. Right, so 4 cuts gets us the diamond. Okay. The ruler has corked back ruler. Oh, I don't know if you missed that. I wasn't pressing that hard down on this at all, so just keeping it consistent and knowing that it's rolling through. Don't have to hear the grinding of the glass on the surface. You don't have to. You can hear a little bit. You should, I think, a little bit. But sometimes not really at all. So just all depends on the glass and the oil, how you've oiled your wheel. Okay, very nice, very sharp, done. Like that's it, you know. So here is the first piece. The air plant will sit right there. And then with our next glass, 2 glass pieces, it'll come in like that, and then they'll have the pocket to sit in. Okay, raised up, 3D. So it cones out, and that's our project right there. Like, it's such, I think, just an easy project, you know? And it looks nice, like real sharp. I don't have to grind anything. And then we hang it from the center point. That's really, it's just gonna be really strong. Totally okay right there. So, okay. What do I want to do with this outside part? I've got some clear glass, which if I did that, you know, you'll see the plant, right? And that's fine. I could do that too, or I could go with, you know, I've got like this iridescent piece. I think this is a very cool one. Feels really dense and thick. I mean, same thickness, just really dense. So, I don't know, I could do it with the yellow. I got this piece that I'm going to use, this glass, we're going to use that. Maybe a lot more, I don't know. Actually, you know what, before we do that, why don't I we're getting ahead of ourselves right here. Let's make a couple more diamonds. I know I wanted to make this blue one. Use this blue glass right here. Okay, so again, tracing, and I've just got enough right there. You know, it's got to be angled over here. So do your trace. Get that traced up. I think this is I'm happy that this could be one of the easiest projects that you can do, because my other ones that I have, the 3D one seems a little bit hard, or it could be a little bit harder, like the terrarium, you know, another air plant holder, terrarium, hanging terrarium, and that one you can make. It's just not an easy project. So for this here, I think this gives us, you know, could be for the beginner, for real. All right. Okay. And it's nice you have like a little bit of oil. You know, I haven't added more oil, right? So we've done 4 cuts on the 5th one. Still feels fine. There's enough oil on here, so when I run it across just lightly, I can see that oil line. So I know that line will be perfect, dead on to the line I want to cut. So that's an indicator to help you too. Okay. See, with the straight cuts, there's just no stress. It goes by itself. I don't need to think too much about it. And it's cleaner too when you go to cut it. Not a lot of glass slivers, bits, glass shards or whatever. Nothing comes out really. It's just gives you a very clean break. You know, I like that. So this is when you can, here. All right. Feels really good. You do have to rotate the glass and find whatever position is good for the ruler, where it's gonna stay put nicely. It won't move, and the glass won't move, so you can do the cut. All right, that feels good. Look at that. So this is what I'm talking about right here. So we got 2 diamonds. Yeah, 2 like that. I don't have the other air plant, but you can see there'll be another one. There'll be another one right here. We'll finish this project with 4. That's the plan, and you see how you can make this any combinations. You know, you can make 1, you can make 2, and you leave it open. You can make it up and down. It'll look really nice on a slimmer wall or something that you have, right? Yeah. So it's up to you. You choose the glass, you choose the diamond shape and size of it. You know, you can make a big old one that you want to put like a big plant in. With that, you'll probably have to make sure that there's a lot of anchor points, strength, like you know, where the mounting points for the piece, it's going to be very strong and hold up that glass. They're not that heavy if you're not putting like soil in here, which I don't suggest you do. I'm not sure how soil reacts to the solder, or some chemicals like flux and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, flux it'll still be there no matter how much you clean it off. Or patina, you know, like you probably don't want soil and stuff mixing in with that. But anyways, I've never really tested that out. I just think that it probably wouldn't be a good idea. So yeah. All right, I got 2 diamond pieces. I want to do this next one right here. You see this white glass? I gotta go get. I'm gonna go get some more. This glass right here was used for my, oh, look at that. You can design it like this, you know, and have it be angled or not. I don't know. You can do it like that too. So there's like probably so many combinations of how we can make this project go, how you can arrange it, right? So hopefully you get the idea. You know what I'm trying to do. Okay. Oh, I'll just keep this out. Okay, so with this glass, I was saying, first you see the wispy design of it, right? So they did, I don't know what they did through this, but that got mixed in, got pressed, rolled right onto the belt. Comes out and it's like a flat sheet of glass, but then they've got this design for us, right? So I think I want to make it up and down. I think it would look really nice going up and down. So let's go with this section right here. And that looks to be pretty good. You know, I'm not trying to do the center and then cutting it out on the sides. I try to always pick towards the edge somewhere so you can save the rest of the glass, and this is kind of how you try to save your glass in a way that like you don't waste it as much. Glass isn't cheap, especially when we get into like the iridescent ones, or even like the redder, the red colors, red, yellows, oranges, those bright colors, warmer colors. I guess pink too, because there's actual, it's so expensive because they actually have to add like gold, actual gold into the mix to get that color. And so there's materials cost involved. I believe the cheapest ones are like the lighter, like the blues, somewhere along those, like cooler colors will be cheaper. That's what I've heard. But I know for sure like reds, bright yellows. My supplier charges way more, so you know, like the rainbow pack that we have, have like a glass pack, rainbow pack, that like very vivid rainbows. I had to choose like real red ones, orange, yellows. Those run a lot more, so without skimping on the color, you got to pay the price. It's just what it is. Excuse me. So for this here, what I always do now is just like I cut off, you know, this whole section right here. So let's get a, just do a full, this full run right here, okay? I was gonna mention this glass right here was used in my Game of Thrones dire wolf piece. Used a lot of it for the hair pieces, which is like the entire body of that piece. It was with this glass just to give that wispy flow. So intentionally using it to get that effect. So just very cool that you can do that with glass. You know, you can intentionally, and should be intentionally, picking your glass for the effect, the outcome of what you want it to be. And sometimes you can't really see it, you know. The process is about figuring out what's going to work, but you don't really know until the end. And that's also kind of the fun in it. It's like you have an idea, but then when you do the project and until you finish it, here. Like, until you finish it, you won't know exactly what it looks like either, so. Oh man, let's see. Didn't have a big grip on that end. Also don't have a big grip on this end. So let me try to tap. Man, I don't really like tapping. I am not skilled at tapping. Also don't like it. Don't like tapping. What did I do? All right, this saw a guy do that on YouTube at some point. He was like, see, now I got little glass slivers digging into my skin. Because I pulled that off and it left some sharp burrs, points around there. And you could use a stone, carborundum stone, smooth it out, clean that up so you don't rough up your fingers, cut it, you know, just slightly, just clean it off slightly, makes it easier to touch. You know, or the guy mentioned, yeah, just use your pliers, scrape right on it, you know. I guess it works both ways, but if you have a stone, why the hell not use a stone? If you don't have a stone, then you got to figure out something else. But this is where things could get a little bit messy. You live in a place that has carpets. Good luck. Can't really do that on carpet. Okay. All right, let me cut this one in. Also noticing a little bit of change on this. What I mean is that this glass is not as easy to cut as the other two. These two. This is cathedral glass, and so they cut the easiest. When I went to cut it, to break it, it just snaps, runs along perfectly. So with this one, there's a little bit added, you know, mixture in here. I don't know what it is, but it changes that feel. So you'll have to press down a little bit harder. And pressing it down a little bit harder just helps you, you know, because now you're breaking a lot more to help with the crack, the run. And you don't want to do it so much that you'll see these that top surface just rip away and break off. This one still looks really good, but I did have to apply a little bit more pressure to help with the run, right? And as we get denser and denser with glass there's so much mixed in there, you can't see through it, right? The opalescent ones, even the iridescent ones, I think some of those are going to be a lot thicker. Then that's when you'll have to, okay, something like this. All right, I'm gonna get some people maybe commenting, saying don't ever do that. Dry glass will kick up dust, silica. You're gonna breathe it. You know, do whatever you need to do. Also be mindful of what you're doing. That dust is obviously not good to breathe in. You can wet this, dunk this in, leave this in the water, submerged, and then just grind it, and that will help minimize that flying dust. That was just so little that I don't care about it. Yeah, I'm not trying to set a bad example, but I don't think you have to worry too much sometimes about things. But okay, three diamonds. So the last one we're gonna do is this right here, this glass, iridescent, and a lot of ripples right here, very crazy ripples on this side. The flat side is the back. We're gonna cut on the back side. It's actually yeah, really nice right there. So they coated the iridescent on this side, which comes through on the other side here. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. 8 inches exact. Is that good? We're gonna have to go with it. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. For this one, for me, I'm gonna have to do, this is the only piece that I have. And it's exactly 8. But also, like, I might not get the sharpness that I want from this, you know, because this is sitting right at the very tip. So it might be slightly smaller, but I think in the end you won't be able to really tell that this one was, you know, we didn't have the space for that tip. Hopefully. Let's see. I think, yeah. Okay, I'll try to cone it in. When I cut it, I'm gonna cut it so it tapers in slightly, just to make a point. Like, I think that's the best that I can do. Unfortunately, this piece is the only one that I have, so, you know, too bad. Can't. I don't have another one here. All right. So for this, we're really gonna have to press hard. Really press down on it. A lot harder than all the other pieces. Okay, let's add some oil. So I think I've been adding oil every, I don't know, like every 5 cuts or something, right? Okay. So that one intentionally just really pressing down on it a lot harder than the other ones. And also we had to squeeze the running pliers a little bit until it started breaking, and not commit all the way through, turn it around, squeeze on the other side so they come back and match and then break off. I think squeezing it really hard and hoping for the best to go all the way through, it could veer off and not follow the scored line. So sometimes that's maybe what you got to do. Turn it and squeeze to start the run on the other side. Okay. What can we do here? Or maybe I'll try to do this again here. Oh, that went pretty easy. Okay. If at least we get this diamond, I might be pretty happy with where we're at so far. Okay, last piece, right? We got so let's keep going. I want to do the sides now. So if this is it, just want to make sure I got the right one. Yeah? Okay. All right, well, this can go we can do any of these here. Should do some of this iridescent. Okay, we already got one side cut for us. It's good. I'll try to get this done, all the cutting done in one video. Wouldn't that be nice? Feels a little dry. Oil it up. So what would it look like? Like that? Okay, like that. Okay. And do I want more yellows? I think I want to mix and match. And do a little bit of, let's do a clear piece here. This one. I got all sorts of different shapes, different glass that's harder to cut, but this is probably the first project that I'm gonna do that has a very mixed glass choice as far as like trying to throw every different piece, like make every diamond holder, air plant holder, to be very unique. So it could stand on its own and just could look like very good just on its own. And then coming together is just a big mess. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe we only got time for just this one cut right now. Okay. Yeah, they're both pretty wavy, both sides. Can't tell. Okay, so last thing is, this is not, I don't know. I was gonna say, it's not big enough to squeeze this, so we can use the grozing pliers and then just pull it away, which I also get a little nervous when trying to do this as well. But flat side up, curved jaw down, grip it all the way up to the line. I'm gonna grip it right about here, I feel, maybe over here to protect it. And then you're gonna pull out away from itself and then a little bit down maybe. Like that. I'll be honest, wasn't sure if that will happen just because of the tips right here. It's always a little sketchy when it's right at the, comes to a small fine tip right there. It never really, you know, there's not enough glass material right there to hold itself, so it could have broken apart, but that went out pretty nice. Okay, so if I have these two little test. Like, maybe the blue one looks cool with this. Oh, so the wavy side is now on the inside if I wanted to keep this over here like this, okay? So what we gotta do right here, we're gonna have to grind this down. This is way too big. Slightly. Dang. Look, this is the idea. We're gonna have to, what can we do here? Because I think yeah, okay. This needs to be trimmed down maybe a millimeter off of the top, so that when you draw it, your glass doesn't get so big. Feels like it's sitting about, you know, like say a millimeter. Mill and a half too big from the top. Same with this side. This side feels like it's 2 mil. You know? So there's fine tuning to be done. This isn't as perfect as I had planned. Let me see how this would look. Okay. So what I think I need to do is have, man, I don't want to do, really trying not to have the grinder, or to come out, to bring out the grinder, right? But I think I'm gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to. At least like 2 millimeters. So 2 mil down from here, and cut right across, same point right here. Just cut it about 2 mil off down here. Let's try that out. I wanna. Maybe even 3 mil on here. 3 mil. Oh yeah. Just so for our future, the future cuts, not even let's not get a, not ruin this piece right now. Trying not to grind too much, right? What is going on over here? All right. Well, to be continued. I do have to go. So ran into some problems with this triangle, not exactly fitting, you know, lining up perfectly. So I will, well, we're gonna have to come back and try to grind it down. But before we do that, I just want to fix the sizing to make sure that that size of the triangle is, you know, for the new cuts, where they're going to be better aligned and better fitted. So as of right now, this is not the correct size for this triangle. But, you know, so far we got the 4 diamonds. That went well. These triangles, we'll fix, try to work on it next time. A lot of glass bits flying around here. Man, this is a big mess over here. But we went through it, and everything has been moving pretty good today. So I feel good about it. Didn't really think this problem was going to happen, but things like this happens, and you know, how do we fix it? How do we move on, move forward with this? So next step, we'll come back and try to fix the triangles on the top, so you guys will have the exact dimensions, not the ones that I gave out earlier. And we will fix that, and then we'll continue and cutting all the glass pieces, and hopefully move on to the next step as well in the cleaning and the copper foiling. So yeah, I think that's what I plan for the next video. Man, didn't really get to catch up today. I'm sorry. Wasn't really thinking about what to talk about at all. If you just wanted to get the project going. So maybe, you know, when we get to the copper foil stage or something, there'll be some more times to kind of catch up. I don't know, talk some more regular stuff, whatever the heck's been happening, especially well, I don't know if you guys have, you probably know about the the Kendrick and Drake stuff. It's that's some crazy stuff. I wasn't even gonna bring it up, but I'm sure some of you know, some of you out there know what the heck is going on with that. If so, that's cool. If not, it doesn't matter either. So you know, we're here doing glass stuff. Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you all the time. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we'll get back to this in the next video. All right.